Quick decode of this. Let's do a quick decode of this Economist magazine cover that came out 2 days ago. This is the World Ahead 2026. And if you have eyes to see, supposedly you can break down the symbolism and have a kind of a heads up on what's going to happen next year. So just taking a look at this, the artwork looks very chaotic, compared to the previous years. So that's the vibe of this artwork is kind of chaos. So let's start down here. All right, see this wine glass and this guy waving. And so what is in a wine glass? Well, of course we have wine, but what do we call that? Spirits. So follow this little trail down here, and what we run into is we go from the spirits here down to this robot. So we're talking like the ghost in the machine. So we're talking spirits and automation. And then, we follow it here. What do we have? We have men in black. So we go from spirits to this automated robot, and now we have men in black. And next to the men in black, we have a balloon. And the balloon is symbolic of a couple things. So, it could be symbolic of demons, an untethered spirit, or something very, very sensitive, or, because of how delicate a balloon is. So and then moving over here, the men in black, he's right next to, what appears to be a stock chart. And the chart is, obviously it doesn't look good because there's this X over it. And what is the X symbolic of? The X is symbolic of Saturn and Satan. So, we've gone here from spirits to automation to men in black to a balloon, which is a demon. And now we have an X, which is Saturn or Satan, over the chart, over the stock chart. So also on that stock chart, we see coins. So it looks like this is the end of the financial system. So I would say next year is to flip the switch on the digital currency. And we see there that the one sword is in that kind of tethered line. But, Satan, one of those swords, is in that tethered line between the brain and the PlayStation controller or the game controller. So this is also the metaverse. So we're going to be going the end of the financial system and the rise of the metaverse, putting the brain into the game controller. And you see there a whole bunch of pharmaceuticals too, lined up. And that, you see, what else do we see here? So we have all this line of spiritual stuff, the spirits, the automation, the men in black, the balloons, and now we have judgment, the gavel, judgment. And we have a guy shredding paper and the money sign in red. So that red, if I say I'm in red, the money's in red, it's not a good thing, And then look at all these little dollar bills floating all around the place in blue, but they don't have any circle on them or anything. So it looks like the ghost of money. It looks like that we're going into this digital age where now we're at the ghost of the money system. There's no more of these paper bills. All right, so now we see here, our president he is pointing at the peak. And after that peak, there's, a big decline. So just more confirmation of this kind of end of the current financial system. But what he's really pointing at is the twin peaks. And he's pointing at the right one, the right peak. So judgment and the right path. Judgment Day and the right path. And right behind him is this guy in the as above, so below position. So what is happening in the spiritual world is happening here on the physical plane. And we also see there's another glass of wine, and it has all these Star Wars things that look like dogs. I don't know what the name of those things are. And also one of these things that is in the college campuses that deliver food. So all these little things, these robots, we're all going into automation. And so now let's talk about the 250, this cake. This is the United States. So next year is the 250th anniversary of the signing of the Declaration of Independence. And you'll notice that the United States is propped up or lifted up by balloons. So this is either like a delicate, very delicate situation, and on another level that the United States is propped up by these demons. And all right, so next to the United States, you see this shipping barge. So this could be, another war on the supply chain, or a real, attack in our ports. And it's aimed right at the United States. You see here the blue horizon, where the fallen elites will try to escape, and there's something shooting it down. So could you imagine that? And here we have you have the United States flag. Is this, I don't know if that fist is the Patriot movement and it's handcuffed to the United States, but look behind it. The flag is different. There's no states anymore. So that we're looking at some sort of change, a big change in the reordering of the United States. And then we have here, what is this? Zelensky with some sort of line going in. Okay, that it looks like there's a line going in one ear and out the other, and there's money, maybe this old money on these lines. So this Sumerian ancient ship is giving an offering. It looks like an offering to Zelensky. So what is that offering? Is that ancient technology? Is it DNA? But whatever it is, we have next to this boat something exploding out of the water, some sort of ship. And we have a periscope and an explosion or splash in the back. So, this has like everything in it. Tsunamis, things flying out of the water, UFOs. Has ancient technology, automation. We have down here, all this stuff, the drones, the satellites, the HARP. It's all here. And, also confirming this metaverse thing, we have this athlete here down in the bottom right. And, all these athletes in sports, this distraction, it's all going to go into the metaverse. All these athletes, it's all going to go into these gaming centers. And I don't know what it's going to be, if each individual athlete is going to be, in one of those VR suits. So instead of having your NBA team being all there on the court together, they're going to be in like little individual studios in these suits, and they're going to be playing. They're not going to get injured anymore. So they're going to be playing this virtual game, all these virtual games, sports that you're going to see in your VR, in your game stations, in your games. So anyways, all these sports here are going to go into the metaverse next year. It looks like your skiing, your running, your boxing, the soccer. It's all going to, these look like Olympic sports. So, I don't think we don't have an Olympics next year, and so that's a quick decode of this. It looks like everything. I don't want to call them psyops because they're real. So it's got everything. It's got everything from Judgment Day to the end, the end of the U.S., the end of the financial system, to like a global war, to automated machines, to the rise of the metaverse, the end of the financial system. And that's what it looks like to me. All of it here in this one photo, like they commissioned the artist and said, just put everything into one photo, into one piece of artwork. I don't even want to call them psyops. Everything, all the end times stuff. Let's all put them in one photo, or one piece of. Let's commission one artwork and just put it all in there for 2026. It's the flip the switch year. And, what an exciting time to live. Hopefully we can come back 12 months from now and see that I'm completely wrong. But, if anyone sees anything good in this photo and anything positive, like a bright outlook, like I'm just not seeing it, with the needles and the nukes and the tanks. It's just, it looks grim. So let's, if you have any thoughts, impressions, opinions, feel free to put them in the comments. We can have a discussion about this. And hopefully we come back here in 12 months and see how wrong I was. So that's what I got for you today.